Now, while you're on the road, do you ever see those big trucks marked toll? Well, it's a very big company, a very big transport company. You've probably noticed that they do just about all of the car transport around the Illawarra, for instance, up and down Mount Ousley Road, taking them off the boats. In fact, it was only when I went to the tip the other day that I saw where they store all the cars when they come off the boats at Port Kembla. Anyway, I told you that and all sorts of other transport. They are one of the biggest of what they call logistics companies in Australia, and it's just been taken over by a Japanese company. In fact, it's a Japanese government-owned firm, Japan Post, which sounds very much like Australia Post. What's this going to mean for jobs? We'll catch up with Nick McIntosh, who's the Illawarra delegate of the Transport Workers Union, who's also got a bit of other breaking news for us. But first, let's talk about toll. Nick, good morning.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
What do you see will happen to the workforce with this takeover?
Look, late yesterday, Nick, we did get some verbal assurances from Toll that they would look after the job assurances of our workforce, but we do need to meet with Toll in the next couple of weeks to I suppose iron all that out, because we're always worried, just based on the track record of previous foreign takeovers of Australian-owned companies, that it ends up resulting in worse conditions for workers, and obviously that's not what we want. We don't want to see some sort of takeover with some sort of efficiency drive that comes into it, and then we end up seeing different depots shut down and mass depots in Sydney doing the work that should be done here.
It's a public company. Can you do anything about it, though? If they are going to be out on the open market and they can offer that much per share and the shareholders say yes, what can you do?
Well, that's right. The shareholders first and foremost obviously have to say yes. I believe it then has to go through the Foreign Investment Review Board before anything can happen. But presuming all that happens and say mid-year the takeover becomes formal, we do have our agreements with Toll in terms of our National Enterprise Agreement will still hold and still applies up until mid-2017, I believe. Now, there's various job security provisions in that document, and our job is to make sure that Japan Post recognises that and make sure that our workers' conditions remain the same, that their jobs are secure.
All right. And I mean, where do you go with that besides, making a case in the media such as you're doing now? Is there industrial action you would consider?
Well, we're not at that point yet, Nick. What we'll do is we'll take Toll at their word that they'll sit down with us and nut out exactly what this means. At the moment, I mean, it's all very new because it only all happened yesterday officially, but at the moment they're making the right noises and saying that as far as they're concerned, nothing's going to change in terms of the management and the structure. That's a good start. It's a good start that they've said to us that they're giving job assurances to our members, but obviously we've got to nut out all the details in the coming weeks. I mean, this is something that my experience with these things tells me is going to take a number of months to really get to the bottom of as to exactly how it'll impact it. So we're not at the point where we need to start considering more drastic options. We'll take Toll at its word, and we've generally speaking got a good working relationship with Toll, and we hope that will continue. Okay, and is it an efficient company already, Toll? Well, it is, Nick. I mean, Toll is one of those remarkable stories, really. In the last 20 years, the amount that company has grown, and it still acquires, I mean, it's got a very big acquisition-focused Toll. It still tries to acquire as many transport companies as it can in different areas, and it comes in and makes them as efficient as they can without, in most cases, cutting jobs. It normally actually, a lot of the time, the conditions of workers get better once Toll's taken over. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nick, there's a lot of issues I've had with Toll and continue to have with Toll, I'm sure, over the years, but generally speaking, we can work pretty well with Toll, and they are. They wouldn't be successful as they are if they weren't efficient.
Okay, Nick McIntosh, thanks for talking to us. Illawarra Delegate, Transport Workers Union.